In this video, I'll be talking you through the brachial plexus and how to make a model of it. If you want to follow this at home, I'm using a coat hanger, some yarn in different colours, and some wee labels to remind you what each strand is. First off, get 5 long strands and tie them to your hanger. I'll be using 3-strand braids and braiding them just to make better visuals for you, but you can also use just single strands and tie new strands in when you need them. These are your spinal roots from C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1. If you were to put the vertebrae in, it would go C4, C5, C6, C7, T1 and T2. Now we're going to make the trunks, which are the second stage of the brachial plexus. The C7 root doesn't merge with other roots at this stage, so you can leave that alone for now. It just carries on down here and becomes the middle trunk. The C5 and C6 root merge to become the superior trunk, so tie them together here. The C8 and T1 roots do the same to become the inferior trunk, so tie them together the same way. Now for the divisions. All of these trunks run for a bit, but then divide into an anterior and posterior division. The posterior division for the inferior trunk only carries C8 fibres, and the anterior carries both, but the other trunks split their fibres equally. It's going to get a little bit more complex as we make the cards. Grab all of your posterior divisions and tie them together into one big card. This is, aptly named, the posterior card. Take the anterior divisions from your superior and middle trunks and tie them together. Leave the anterior division of the inferior trunk as it is. These two anterior cards are formed as we get closer to the arm, so we stop using superior and inferior to describe them. Instead, we call this one the medial card and this one the lateral. Now we turn these 3 cards into the 5 main nerves of the brachial plexus. Divide your posterior card into 2 sections, one of which has just C5 and C6 fibres. This is your axillary nerve. What remains is your radial nerve. Let's put them back here. For the nerves that pass anteriorly to these 2, divide your medial and lateral cards into 2. Bring one strand of each together, and that is your median, not medial, median nerve. Once those 3 strands are put together, the remaining 2 strands on the outsides are your musculocutaneous and ulnar nerves, respectively. They go on the very outsides. And this is our completed brachial plexus. You can trace the nerve fibres from their main nerves right back to their spinal roots and then vice versa. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks everybody.